Everyone. Thanks for tuning. I want to talk to you today about the 20-year-old from Portage, Michigan, Carson Hocevar. Is he the next biggest thing, the next best prospect, or has he already arrived based upon what we've seen him do in Darlington and earlier this year at WWT? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? My name is Ryan Peters. This is Stuck in the Catch Fence. I'm glad that you are joining us. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful start to your week. We got some news coming in. Joe will be on the show tomorrow, so look forward to that, where we break down what happened this past weekend. Also, look forward. We'll get Joe's takes on drivers in the playoffs. You know, he's a big Kyle Larson fan, so look forward to that. But today, I want to talk to you about just a few minutes here. Carson Hocevar. I've been sitting on this for a while now, thinking about it. And based upon what we've seen so far, we've seen 2 Cup starts out of the 20-year-old from Michigan. And I think I've already come to the determination, and maybe this is just buying in on the hype train. Maybe this is going to look foolish in a couple months. But I really am starting to think that Carson Hocevar is possibly the best prospect we have in NASCAR. We've heard about the John Hunter Nemecheks. We've heard about the Ty Gibbs. We've heard about Noah Gragson as recently as last year. But I'm starting to think the guy that we're not nearly talking enough about is one Carson Hocevar. We have seen him now twice in 2 different cars that have not been running great by any means, filling in so far this year. And what we have seen out of him is something really unbelievable. You know, the first time he filled in at Spire Motorsports, and he was in the top 20 before wrecking out. And currently that car, being driven by Corey LaJoie, is 25th in the series. Well, he drove that car from the back all the way up into the top 20s early in that race before his brakes failed, beating the guy that actually drives that car, beating the guy that actually was driving for Hendrick Motorsports, the guy he was filling in for, before having a brake failure, something that happened quite a bit at WWT with some of the Chevys. So, part of you goes, is that a one-off? Well, a lot of people gave Corey LaJoie a break because he didn't perform very well at WWT, because none of the Chevys at Hendrick Motorsports performed very well at WWT. So, next time we get to see Carson Hocevar is this past weekend at Darlington. And if any of you guys know, especially you that love NASCAR, love the history of NASCAR, and understand the complexity of said sport, your chance of dipping your toes into this sport in a Cup car against the number 1 competition that Oval Motorsports has, United States Motorsports has, is going to Darlington. It is a technical track where drivers, we saw Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick hit the wall multiple times on the last few laps just to try to win that race. And Carson Hocevar goes out driving the number 42, which is currently 33rd in the owner standings if you go by Noah Gragson, and he's been down there the entire year, and gets 17th place. He has taken 2 pieces of equipment and ran them better than the incumbent drivers have been running them. He has run better than all of the replacement drivers. Even one Josh Berry, who has filled in the number 42 car, has been able to do so far this year. He's 20 years old. He started racing when he was 7 in Michigan. I was up at Berlin this year whenever the SRX series was there. He was out there talking amongst the fans. He was greeted upon at the track, and they were talking about how he used to win races there in his teens. This is a prospect, a really, really good driver who's been under the tutelage of Johnny Benson, according to him talking about himself, a fellow Michigander, and about how good he really, really is. And I just don't feel like we're getting him the type of hype that he possibly deserves. Ty Gibbs, I've been the first guy to tell you here, I think Ty Gibbs has put in the work to possibly be one day a future NASCAR champion. Ty Gibbs has been groomed in the highest level of the motorsports, whether it was at ARCA, whether it was at Xfinity. He has been in the best rides. There's no denying that. That being said, he also won in the best rides. Noah Gragson recently was put in the good rides, especially with Junior Motorsports, Kyle Busch Motorsports in the Truck Series, John Hunter Nemechek. He did have a cup of tea in the series whenever he went to Front Row Motorsports and things didn't work out there, which was very brief anyway, but has done everything that he can to win at Joe Gibbs Racing. This is the third season for the 20-year-old currently driving for Nice Motorsports, who has 3 wins this year. He's currently 4th in the standings. His average finish is around 11th place for a guy that's 20 years old. And let's not act like Nice Motorsports is just the be-all, end-all when it comes to the Truck Series. Yeah, they're good. But it's not like he's driving the best of the best day in and day out every single weekend. Is he going to do some dumb things, and has he done some dumb things? Absolutely. He's been penalized for it. He's been chastised for it. But at the same time, he was also less than 20 years old doing stupid things. I think we all can look at ourselves and say we've all done some pretty dumb things when we were younger than 20 years old. Some of you guys can even say that now at your current age, myself included. So why is Carson Hocevar not get the silver spoon treatment from the media that we've seen of other drivers? That's really the question. And to that, I don't know. I don't know if he just hasn't had the money, so people don't talk about him that way. I don't know if he just doesn't have the press. I don't know. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. He seems very likable when you talk to him. He's full of energy. He seems to love racing. I mean, during his pre-race talk, he talked into the car, the radio communications, about how excited he was for another opportunity. I'm telling you right now, for a guy that likes Kyle Busch, who is going to get older, I got my eye on Carson Hocevar. I've had it there for a while. It was there with Ty Gibbs for a little bit, and Ty Gibbs has done some things that, quite frankly, pissed me off. He's done some really stupid stuff. And, well, there's always going to be that possibility that Ty Gibbs was quite literally kicking Kyle Busch out of his seat, whether it was part of his own doing or not, which I'm sure he had 0.1% ability of doing that. The stigma's still there. Just like the stigma's still there that for Kyle Busch, that Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushed him out of Hendrick Motorsports. Those things still exist. I still feel that way. So maybe, whether it's justified or not, my feelings for Ty Gibbs have lowered, but I still think he's a championship level driver. I do think he will win a championship before too long, probably within the next 5 to 6 years. Now, the only thing to me that could derail Carson Hocevar's career is if he does sign with a team that doesn't put him in the car that stalls or thwarts his ability to show consistent speed, and he never gets that full-time chance. But let me tell you this. From what I've seen out of Daniel Suarez and Alex Bowman, 2 Chevy drivers, if I'm Hendrick or I'm Trackhouse, I might have to make a tough decision. Because seeing what we've seen out of Carson Hocevar, and yes, again, I'll preface it, it's only been 2 races. That has been some damn impressive stuff. And please, please don't devalue how hard it is to race at Darlington. It is very difficult. If it was a test, Carson Hocevar probably aced his test, getting a top 20. And it's not like he lucked his way in there. It's not like he strategized his way in there. He did really, really good. At WWT, he was moving through the field, mowing down better competition car-wise before having a failure on said car. So why are we not giving Carson Hocevar the anointed, maybe the next best prospect in NASCAR? Does he not have the sponsorship backing? Does he not have the money backing? Does he not have the granddad or the uncle or anything like that that's going to help him get to that point of his career? That part I don't know. What I do know is this kid loves to race. And by God, the more and more you look at NASCAR drivers, find the ones that are racing on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays outside of the NASCAR circuit And those are the ones typically that have been having the most success as of late. The guys like Kyle Larson, the guys like Kyle Busch, the guys like Brad Keselowski this year, racing the SRX full time. Denny Hamlin racing in different series. Those type of guys have been having the most success, and that's because they love said motorsport. They love getting behind something with four wheels and trying to go fast, and they learn something regardless of who the competition is. Carson Hocevar knows that he's probably faced better drivers at Berlin than he has in the Truck Series this year. Why? Because not everybody gets a chance to get in the Truck Series. Not everybody has an opportunity to do these things. Not everybody wants that same opportunity. And where Carson Hocevar has went, he has won. And wherever he has went, way before we thought he was capable of doing it, he has impressed. And he just might be the next best driver in NASCAR. So you tell me, is Carson Hocevar the best prospect? If you had a chance to choose any driver below the age of 23, who would you pick? Who would be your number one draft pick? That's my question to you. Don't matter what series. Xfinity, Cup, Trucks. Who would you pick? Would it be Zane Smith? Would it be Ty Gibbs? Let me know who you would pick. I'm curious to see what your answer is as well. Because I doubt they're getting the same. I feel like Carson Hocevar is not getting the same love that probably the person that you might pick would be. I mean, it wasn't that long ago people have been clamoring for Noah Gragson to get a chance in the Cup Series so he can impress. I'm not going to talk about his social media account. I'm just talking about what he did this year in the same exact car. Wasn't nearly as impressive. So you let me know in the comments below. Thank you for listening in. If you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to stay tuned to all the latest NASCAR news, we do different segments where we make you think, see what you guys are talking about when it comes to the world of NASCAR and other type of motorsports as well. We're deep into the playoffs now, going into week 2, where we head out to Kansas, where last year Bubba Wallace ended up winning this race even though he wasn't in the playoffs. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow on the weekly show. My partner Joe will be on. We'll break down the latest contract extension between Denny Hamlin, JGR, and also 2311 staying with Toyota. So those things will all be on for the rest of the week as well. So again, my name is Ryan Peters. This has been Stuck in the Catch Fence. Have a wonderful rest of your day.